Adi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Few years back, one senior godbrother of mine, I was visiting him. He has his house in Lucknow, which is the capital of Uttar Pradesh. And this devotee is a grahastha. He had worked outside for many years, outside of India. Worked abroad at senior levels, director of companies, that kind of level. Very top management positions he had served in countries abroad. And then he had settled back in Lucknow, which was his originally place of birth. Initiated devotee and very nice gentleman. Whenever we would go to Lucknow, he would host us and he would ensure that we all had wonderful prasadam and all that. Often he would visit Vrindavan Chandrodaya Mandir. A lot of help he was, according to us also, as in consultancy in the design of the Vrindavan Chandrodaya Mandir. Very nice gentleman, very accomplished, well educated. He had 3 daughters. 2 of them were twins and 1 more daughter. Once when I was visiting him, he was telling me how his daughter, one of his daughters, she had finished the school and she had to go to college. She got admitted into Jawaharlal Nehru University, JNU in Delhi. They admitted her to the course, and he was saying after 6 months or some period like that, she came back home for a holidays or whatever, in between semesters or whatever. When she came back home, the parents, they realized that the daughter has gone into deep depression. They started talking to her, trying to help her out and all that. And they found out that the cause for her depression was she had learnt in college. You know how JNU is, isn't it? So she had been told by the professors, colleagues, or fellow students and all those people. They were taught that Brahmins are the cause of all problems in India. And he told me, that devotee, he told me that actually he was born in a traditional Brahmin family in UP. I was not aware of this until he told me. Because generally in Krishna consciousness, we don't ask anybody's caste, which caste do you belong to, and all those kind of stuff. We come from all kinds of backgrounds. We may be from different religions, different nationalities, all kinds of people we meet in Krishna consciousness. So we don't ask. And everybody, we understand, once they have taken shelter of Krishna's holy name, they are all on the transcendental platform. Anyway, he told me that he was born in a Brahmin family, and his daughter, when she learned in college that Brahmins are the cause of all problems of India, and she herself is born in a Brahmin family, she went into deep depression. Then he had to take her to a psychiatrist and do a lot of counseling. And finally, somehow they managed to pull her back into normalcy. Some people have this perspective that the Vedic scriptures, the Vedas, they promote discrimination on the basis of birth in the form of castes. According to them, the Vedic scriptures, the Vedas, were written by people of a higher caste with a motive to dominate and to exploit the marginalized or the weaker sections of the society in terms of their birth. Somebody is born in a certain family, designate him as a certain caste, scheduled caste, lower caste, backward caste, whatever, and then suppress him and exploit him. And there are a few forward caste people who are enjoying. For their enjoyment, for their exercise of power, they wanted to wield power over the common mass of people. So a small percentage of higher class of people, Kshatriyas and Brahmanas, they created all these systems in the Vedas by which the lower caste could be dominated. They could exploit them and live at their expense. So, Shri Krishna Rukmini Satyabhama ki jai. So these upper caste, they formulated the different Vedas in Sanskrit language, which nobody can understand, which the lower class of people could not understand, and created a aura. They mystified these scriptures by writing them in Sanskrit, and then created various rituals and other things within that, which could be conducted only by Brahmanas. And this way, they exercise their control over the so-called lower classes of people. And even today they say, what is this? You go to one temple, one pujari will be there, he will utter some mantras in some Sanskrit language which nobody can understand. Maybe if you call that pujari and ask him also, he also won't know the meaning. So all these are all obnoxious practices. That's what modern day people would have us believe. But actually fact is, when I was in college, I actually had taken up Sanskrit as one of my languages of study, right from my 8th standard. So 8th standard, 9th standard, 10th standard, 3 years I studied Sanskrit. Plus 1 and plus 2 also, 5 years. When I came to plus 1, plus 2, initially the first 3 years was all about grammar in Sanskrit, sandhis, samadhis, and the different chandas, anushrup chandas, this chandas, and basically all about grammar, vyakarana in Sanskrit. When we came to plus 1 and plus 2, we started studying Sahitya, literature. We started studying some dramas. This Kalidasa's, I don't remember the name of his work, but one of Kalidasa's works, which was in Sanskrit, we had to study that. A portion of it, not the entire thing, as part of our language study. That's a drama written by Kalidasa, and in that drama, there are the king and various other ministers. When they come, they start conversing in pure Sanskrit. And then there are some workers, labor class people who work in the palace and all that. They come and there is some conversation between them. That is in a colloquial Sanskrit, not in the pure Sanskrit. Just like Tamil also, all the politicians, you will see them when they come on TV, they will speak pure Tamil, the ancient Tamil. But you go out in the public, nobody will speak that Tamil, isn't it? Everybody speaks a local version, a colloquial version. Slang, what we call. Enadamachi, Vadamachi, Podamachi, and all those kind of stuff. The politicians, when they come in front of the TV, I'm sure off TV, they will also be talking like that. But when they come on TV, the Tamil they speak will be completely different. It will be the pure, old, ancient Tamil. Similarly, in the olden times also, there used to be two versions of Sanskrit. One spoken by elite class of people, the pure Sanskrit. Common mass of people, they would also speak in Sanskrit, but that would be a colloquial version. Some people would speak Pali, which is even more localized version of Sanskrit. So it is a total lie to say that people in the olden ages did not know Sanskrit at all. On the contrary, everybody in the country knew Sanskrit. It was a common language of of communication. And that is why you will see all over India, although there are many local languages, you go to Andhra, it is Telugu, you come to Karnataka, it is Kannada, you come to Tamil Nadu, it is Tamil, go to Kerala, it is Malayalam, then you go to Uttar Pradesh, it is Hindi, Assam you go, it is Assamese, completely different, Punjab, Punjabi. So you go to different parts of India, you will find different languages spoken. But still, there is a common cultural thread running through the entire country. There are certain festivals which are very common, like Mahashivratri or Krishna Janmashtami, or you take Sri Ram Navami, or you take Ganesha Chaturthi. So these are all common festivals which are celebrated all over the country, and everybody follows the same kind of rituals and practices. So how is it possible when different people in different parts of the country speak different languages? How can common practices come into vogue? Because communication is completely different. That's because in the olden times, everyone knew Sanskrit, even the common man knew Sanskrit, and that was the common language of communication all over the country, in addition to the local whatever languages were there. Therefore, all these practices could be instituted in a common manner. Not only that, because everybody knew Sanskrit, even the common man, when he would go to the temple, the pujari does some yajna, quoting some Sanskrit mantras, or he does some archana puja in Sanskrit, the common man could all understand. They could all very clearly understand, at least the gist of it they would understand. Not like today. Today, because of the Britishers dismantling the entire traditional Gurukul system of education in India, everybody has forgotten Sanskrit. But we cannot expect that today I don't know Sanskrit, therefore in the past also people did not know. That is a wrong conclusion. So, the Vedic scriptures, they were written in a language which everybody could understand. It was a common language of communication in those days, even for the common mass of people. That is why the Acharyas like Veda Vyasa chose Sanskrit as the medium of communication, because it could be spread everywhere uniformly. And in addition to this, as we can see here, the purpose of Veda Vyasa writing the Vedas is not for artificial domination of one class over another on the basis of birth. That was not the intention or purpose of the Vedas. What was the purpose of the Vedas? So, for Prajanam Karma Shuddham, for the purification of the activities of the conditioned souls in Kali Yuga, Veda Vyasa, out of great compassion, he compiled the Vedas. Actually, before Veda Vyasa's time, there was only one Veda, as Prabhupada has mentioned in the purport. Only Yajurveda was there. And that Yajurveda was handed down from generation to generation by oral tradition. The children, students would all go to the Gurukula, and the Guru would recite the Vedic scriptures. The students would hear and they would learn. There was no written form of the Vedic scriptures, because people's memory power was so high. They simply by hearing once from the spiritual master, for life they would never forget. So, but in Kali Yuga, because people's memories are very much shortened and they cannot remember completely whatever they have heard once, even multiple times we hear, we tend to forget. Therefore, Veda Vyasa, seeing that in Kali Yuga the people are less intelligent and they have very less memory power, he thought how to benefit the people of Kali Yuga, how to ensure that the Vedas continue to get propagated amongst the human society, so that they can follow the rules and regulations of the Vedas, and Karma Shuddham, they can become purified in their activities. Keeping this in mind, Veda Vyasa put the Vedas down in writing. Not only did he do it in writing, what he also did was, he split the one Veda into 4 branches, so that it is easier for people to learn and to practice. Atharva Veda, Yajur Veda, Rig Veda and Sama Veda. These 4 Vedas, he split the one Veda into these 4 Vedas. Now, what is this purification? Karma Shuddham, what is this purification of activity? And we can understand what is that purification that is being spoken of from the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj, which appears in the 7th canto of the Srimad-Bhagavatam. Prahlad Maharaj also expressed his great compassion for the conditioned souls. When Narasimha had vanquished Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad Maharaj came forward to offer prayers to glorify and to appease Narasimha. One of the things that Prahlad Maharaj offered, one of the prayers that he offered to Narasimha was, Naivodvije Paraduratyaya Vaitaranyas. He said, O my Lord Narasimha, Naiva Udvije, I am not at all worried for myself. Naivodvije Paraduratyaya Vaitaranyas. Para, O my Supreme Lord, Naivodvije, I am not worried for myself about Dhuratyaya Vaitaranyaha. How will I cross over the Vaitarani river, which is extremely difficult to cross over? Meaning, Vaitarani is the river which separates the spiritual world from the material world. To cross over the Vaitarani river means to cross over from the bank of the Vaitarani river, where we are all situated right now, which is the material world, and to cross over into the spiritual world. That means to gain liberation from this material world. Prahlad Maharaj prayed to Narasimha that, O my Lord, I am not worried for myself how I will cross over the Vaitarani river and go from this miserable material world into the spiritual world. Why? Why is Prahlad Maharaj not worried? Because it's not very easy to cross over the Vaitarani river to attain liberation. That is why he is saying Dhuratyaya. Prahlad Maharaj is very much aware of this. That is not an easy task to attain liberation, to attain mukti, moksha. Not very easy. Great rishis and sages are engaged in acts of great renunciation and austerities in order to attain this mukti. And Prahlad Maharaj is just a 5-year-old child. And he is saying, I am not worried about how to cross over this greatly difficult ocean of Vaitarani to cross over. I am not worried for myself. Why? Because Twadvirya Mahamrita Magna Chittaha. Because Magna Chittaha, my consciousness, my intelligence, my mind is completely immersed. Immersed in what? Immersed in Mahamrita. Amrita means nectar. Nectar is very sweet. Mahamrita, my mind is completely immersed in the great nectar. Mahamrita. What is that? Mahamrita means it is even greater than Amrita, even greater than nectar. What is that object which is greater than nectar? Which all the devatas are always constantly desiring to drink, to prolong their lifespans and to maintain their health and vigor and vitality. Something higher than that is there, something more powerful than that is there, something sweeter than that is there. What is that? Twadvirya Gayana Mahamrita Magna Chittaha. So I am completely immersed in the supreme nectar of your pastimes. So a devotee, when he is absorbed when his mind is absorbed completely, his mind is completely captivated by the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, he experiences it as sweeter than nectar. And therefore, it becomes very easy for one to cross over the ocean of nescience, the ocean of birth and death within this material world. But at the same time, although Prahlad Maharaj is not worried for himself, so because he has found out the formula how to cross over the Vaitarani, how to attain liberation, simply keep remembering the glories of Krishna. That's good enough. He doesn't have to do anything else. He has found out the secret formula. But at the same time, he is saying, Shoche, but still I am highly disappointed, I am highly worried. Shoche tato vimukha chetasa indriyartha bharam maya sukhaya bharamudvahan vimudhan. So what are you worried for? You have already obtained that position of being liberated very easily without having to undergo great austerities and to study the Vedic scriptures and all that. You have unlocked the secret by which you can attain liberation very easily. You are already situated on that platform. And you are relishing the extremely blissful, sweet, nectarian pastimes of the Supreme Lord. So then why should you shoche? Why should you be worried? So he is saying, shoche tato vimukha chetasa. I am worried for all these conditioned souls who are vimukha, who have turned their faces away from you, O my Supreme Lord Krishna. Meaning the people in this material world, they are not interested in devotional service to Krishna. Why? Because indriyartha, they are thinking that engaging in sense gratification is the highest goal of life. That is the highest happiness we can achieve. Maya sukhaya. But that sukha they get by indriyartha, by satisfying the senses, seeing nice beautiful form with the eyes, hearing some wonderful nice music with the ears, tasting very wonderful food with the tongue. So all these items of sense gratification, they may appear to give happiness, but it is maya sukhaya, it is illusory happiness. Why is it illusory happiness? Because Krishna says in the Bhagavad-gita, yehi sansparshaja bhoga dukkha yonaya yevate adyantavantaha kaunteya nateshu ramate buddhaha. All these happiness that is derived out of sense enjoyment is actually, it will finally, initially it will be very nice. It will be very, it will give lot of happiness. But eventually at the end, it will end up in distress. So therefore, because all material sense gratificatory happiness has a beginning and an end, and that end is going to be distressful, intelligent people do not engage in sense gratification. This is the conclusion of Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad-gita. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj says, Maya Sukhaya, this Indriyartha, this working hard for the sense gratification is only going to give illusory happiness, which is not real happiness. It appears to be happiness, but it's not happiness. It will only give you distress. Shoche tato vimukha chetasa indriyartha maya sukhaya bharamudvahan. And for the sake of this indriyartha, sense gratification, which is giving maya sukha, illusory happiness, not real happiness, what do people do? Bharamudvahan. They are taking great burdens in the society in the form of various duties they have created for themselves. Duty towards one's family, duty towards one's nation, duty towards various devatas, duties towards one's ancestors, duties towards the humankind. So all kinds of duties and isms we have invented. And we think that if I satisfy these duties, then I can enjoy wonderful sense gratification. But this is illusory sense gratification, and unnecessarily we are carrying burdens which we are not required to carry. Prabhupada often gave the example of how a donkey is taken by the washerman to the Dhobi Ghat, to the area where all the clothes are washed. So the Dhobi, the washerman, he loads all the dirty clothes on the back of the donkey, and he takes it to the Dhobi Ghat, the washing yard, and there he ties the donkey. He unloads all the clothes, ties the donkey to one place, and then gives a little grass to the donkey to eat. And then he goes, washes the clothes, and by the time he washes the clothes and comes back, the donkey would have finished its grass eating. And then the Dhobi puts all the clothes back, the washed clothes back on the donkey and takes them back. Now, to whom does the clothes belong? The clothes do not belong to the donkey. Somebody's clothes he is carrying. Somebody's burden he is carrying. For what? What is the benefit he is getting? Little grass. Grass is obtainable everywhere. If he frees himself from the washerman and runs away, if the donkey runs away, anywhere he goes, he can get grass. Grass grows everywhere, except maybe in the desert. But grass is openly available everywhere freely. But the donkey is thinking, if I carry this burden of clothes, I'll get grass to eat. If I don't carry the burden of the clothes, I'll not get anything to eat. This is the foolishness of the donkey. That's why the donkey is called a foolish animal. And the washerman also takes advantage of the foolishness of the donkey. So the donkey is carrying somebody else's burden, which he is not required to carry. He is not going to wear those clothes. Somebody's clothes he is carrying, that burden which is not actually required for him, for the sake of some little grass which is anyway openly available. Similarly, the human beings, we have created our own so many duties towards family, society, nation, etc., thinking that these are the sources of my happiness. So actually, the burden of our duties which we have created for ourselves are not actually our burdens. We are not required to carry them. And therefore, Prahlad Maharaj says, but still, we have created artificial duties and we are carrying these burdens. Soche tato vimukha chetasa indriyartha maya sukhaya bharamadvaha vimudhan. Therefore, all the human beings who are engaged in various duties in this material world, they are all vimudhas. They are vishesha mudas. They are special fools. So, for these foolish human beings who have created all these artificial duties, thinking that this will give me great happiness, I am worried for them. Prahlad Maharaj is saying, how will they cross over the Vaitarani river and attain liberation from repeated birth and death within this material world? So this is Prahlad Maharaj's great compassion. He actually doesn't have to worry about the conditioned souls. He is Mahamrita Magna Chittaha. Tvadvirya Gayana Mahamrita Magna Chitta. He is constantly glorifying Krishna and he is immersed in bliss. No need for him to worry about these conditioned souls. He is already liberated. But still, he has that quality of compassion and therefore he is feeling for all those conditioned souls. Similarly, Vyasadeva also, he is also feeling great compassion for the conditioned souls. And he is seeing that especially in Kali Yuga, all the conditioned souls will be, their goal in life will be simply sense gratification. They will think that I have to do my duty for Indriyartha. And that Indriyartha will give me Maya Sukha. Thinking like this, especially in Kali Yuga, people's only goal in life is to engage in various duties which they will create. I have to do this duty towards my family, towards my community, towards the society, corporate social responsibility, and I will have to, I have my duty towards my nation. So all these duties are created by the people thinking that this will lead me to happiness and sense gratification, which is not a reality. Therefore, we have to understand that the real performance of duties is for the pleasure of Krishna, not for obtaining some result with which we can enjoy sense gratification. Therefore, Vyasadeva, seeing that people in Kali Yuga will perform their duties only for sense gratification, he wanted to purify those activities so that eventually they will come to the point of surrender to Krishna. They will come to the point of engaging in devotional service to Krishna. They will come to the same point of Prahlad Maharaj, which is Tvadvirya Gayana Mahamrita Magna Chittaha. How their consciousness can be purified so that they give up their desire to enjoy sense gratification in the material world and they can give up their Indriyartha and desire for Maya Sukha, by which they will come to the point where they can relish the sweet pastimes of Krishna. This is the purification of the activity which is required. And that is why in today's verse we are seeing how Veda Vyasa thought, Prajanam karma shuddham vikshya. He thought, how will I purify the activities of the conditioned souls so that they become free from their desire for sense gratification. They become free from being captivated by the illusory happiness put before us by all the sense objects in the form of sense gratification. How to purify them of all these and develop in them a taste for hearing the glories of Krishna. This is the thinking of Vyasadeva. And thinking like this, what did he do? He thought, Karma Shuddham Vikshya Vaidikam Vyadadhat Yajna Santatyai Vedamekam Chaturvidham. So therefore he thought, I have to split the Vedas into 4 and give various Vaidikam, various activities in the Vedas by which their activities will get purified. The same sense gratification they do through the Vedas. The Vedas talk of how one can engage in dharma by which one can attain wealth. To earn wealth, you don't have to engage in dharma. You go and do your various activities and do your business and earn money, you can enjoy wealth. Then why dharma is required? So Veda Vyasa has said, anyway you want to earn money, do it by performing dharma. Kama, sense gratification. A boy and a girl want to enjoy, so they can come and enjoy together. They can have a live-in relationship and enjoy. What is the need for marriage? What is the meaning of marriage? There is no need for marriage, no, consensual. Both of them consent to each other and they live together. Oh, enough. What is the need for marriage? Only if they married, they'll get children, is it? Or only if they are married, they can enjoy sex life? No. They can enjoy even without that. Then why marriage is required? So, that means Veda Vyasa is saying, you want to enjoy sex life? Do it under the principles of dharma. Get married. Have that relationship only with your wife or with your husband. Don't engage in activities of the conjugal relationship outside of marriage. So all these restrictions are given. You want to earn wealth, then you have to do dana and tapasya also. You have to give in charity. Don't simply earn and enjoy yourself. So like this, in the Vedic scriptures, the same activities of sense gratification are given, but with various restrictions and methods how to do it. What is the idea? Idea is karma suddhyam, for the purification of the activities. Meaning, if we perform those same sense gratificatory activities, if you go and have a live-in relationship with a woman, and after some time break up, have another woman, or the woman has a relationship with a man, and then after some time gives him up, goes with another person, you can do that. But your life will not be purified. You will not become free from that desire to enjoy sex life. A businessman is going on earning money. If he does not engage in dana and tapasya and yajna, what will happen? His activities will never become purified. He will never become purified of the desire to keep on accumulating wealth. There is no end to his greed. On the other hand, if they accumulate wealth, engage in politics, engage in conjugal relationship between the opposite sex, all these things, if they do according to the Vedic scriptures, then what happens? Gradually, the desire to enjoy in that manner will slowly get diminished. And finally, one will come to a stage where one is totally free from those desires and one develops the understanding, I am not the body, I am spirit, soul, I am servant of Krishna, and one starts engaging in devotional service to Krishna. And by such devotional service to Krishna, great benefit awaits us. We can get liberated from the cycle of birth and death within this material world. So Vyasadeva is thinking from that point of view, how to benefit the conditioned souls, how to show them a path by which they can cross over the material world of birth and death and give them a life of eternal bliss and happiness. This is Vyasadeva's thinking. And with this intention, he wrote the entire Vedas, and with this intention, the 4 Varnas and Ashramas were created, and not with the intention to exploit or to artificially dominate one class by another. That was never the intention. Down the line, with time, what happened is the original intent of the Vedas was lost and it was misutilized. That's a different matter. But you cannot blame the Vedic scriptures and the Varnashrama Dharma and the Veda Vyasa for the misutilization of the Vedic scriptures which they have given us. So we have to understand the great compassion of Veda Vyasa and the ultimate purpose of the Vedas, which is to give us the same activities engage us in the same activities of sense gratification in a restricted way, so that our desires will get purified and we will be able to attain the final goal of getting liberated from the cycle of birth and death within this material world. So I'll stop here. If there are any questions or comments, we can discuss. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्-भागवतम की जय, जगतगुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल।